All right, guys, how's it going? We are just now about to go live. All right, how's it going, guys? We are just now going live. Let me adjust the mic here. And really awesome stuff. So, I'm going to give people about 5 minutes to join. And actually, at the same time, I'm going to be connecting the Instagram live stream as well. So, it's going to give you guys a chance to actually connect with me. Uh, Drop in some questions. So this is Tech Money Talks live. Ask BMac. I do this every weekday at 2 p.m. Central Time, Chicago time. So I'm going to give you guys a chance to join. Right now, as you're joining, I'm going to give you guys a few minutes. Also, share it with somebody. So if you're on your Facebook right now, share it. We're streaming to multiple platforms. So we're streaming on Facebook, like 3 different groups. We're streaming to Periscope. What's up, Periscope? And then we're also streaming to YouTube. How's it going, everybody on YouTube? And we're also going to LinkedIn. So we already have people messaging, which is awesome. So I had my breakfast, and so people are on and excited. So this is really good. Let me know how the audio is going. I'm gonna type in the message here. How's the audio? Because this is one of the new things. So this is like going into the second week of actually doing the Ask BMac and Tech Money Talks live and figuring things out, getting the connections together, the audio together, and things like that. But this is like 2 parts. One is behind the scenes, how you can see how things are working, and then 2 is to get like current information, current questions. So people said it's good, so that's awesome. Thank you, I appreciate that. And but it's a way to get current questions, current information as far as uh, things in the industry, things that I'm working on, and new updates and things like that. So let me, while I give everybody a chance to join, we're just a couple of minutes in, so I'm going to give people a chance to join while I connect Instagram as well. And Instagram you actually have to do through the Instagram app. So what I'm doing here is connecting it on this little tripod here, and I got a second iPhone that I stream here. So that's kind of the nature of the thing. You got to have multiple iPhones and things like that, so you can multitask in a lot of different ways. So I'm going to connect Instagram right now. And the cool thing is like the way I set it up, it's actually out of camera view. And let me just get some adjustments here. Ooh, better. Yeah, this is really good. All right, so we're now also streaming on Instagram Live as well. So thumbs up there. I'm really glad things are working out. One of the things that was just released recently is the what you're seeing on the screen is the page to Kevin Zhang. This is what I mentioned in the beginning. So Kevin Zhang, if you didn't know, launched a new course, and this is how you can actually connect. So Jack, how's it going? I'm doing great, bro. I'll send away. So we're on Instagram Live, and we're also streaming on YouTube, Facebook, stuff like that. But what I was talking about was we just had a podcast release that went out with Kevin Zhang. Now this, hold on, this is live. I'm taking a drink of my tea. It's a green tea that I'm drinking right now, afternoon. Uh, but Kevin Zhang, him and I did a podcast. It was March 26th, so it was almost a month ago. It's amazing how time flies by. We connected. His podcast was actually the first kind of live stream, and that's why I've been asking about the audio. Like, is the audio working okay? Because if you heard the podcast, I mean, the value, the discussion and value out of the podcast is great. I mean, I listened to it twice already, and it's my own podcast. I listened to it twice. Kevin dropped a lot of value in there for sure. So I say definitely check it out. But the thing was the audio quality just was really not there. Because like I said, streaming to multiple platforms, I had to connect multiple audio devices and also the streaming. So some connections couldn't work at the beginning. I didn't have it worked out, and that's why the quality came out that way. I think I'm getting better. So I'm figuring things out along the way. I'd say let me know if you're like an audio buff, or even if you're like a video buff. Send me a DM and let me know because I could use some help in this space. I feel like I'm getting things together, but you know if there's any tips or strategies to doing you know better streaming, better audio, I'd appreciate that as well. Everyone says doing a fine job. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it. So yeah, I mean that's what it's all about is bringing value and the purpose of the live. If you didn't catch on, it was just like I mean after everything's that's changed over the past couple of months, things are moving fast. Um, you know the podcast release, like I said, Kevin's podcast was recorded almost a month ago, about 4 weeks ago. And even then, I mean, when we talked about, I mean, I really don't like talking about the numbers, but let's say in the podcast we talked and there was like an announcement of 3 million jobs lost. Now, fast forward to today, 26 million jobs lost. So you could see just in a matter of 4 weeks what has taken place. A lot has changed. And then at the same time, so it's like, I want to give access to information as quickly as I can while we could still go through the traditional editing process of the podcast and things like that as it gets released. Because there's a queue of podcasts that's still rolling out, and we're going to get a little bit more efficient with that. But it's one of the things that's in the works because, I mean, for me, myself, you know, I got a technology company, also do my own drop shipping, and then also serving people in our insiders group and the Done For You service. And so there's a lot of things in the air, and the podcast is also one of them. And but I figured I was like, okay, well maybe I could do this live stream where 2 p.m. I just do it consistently, take 30 minutes, and I could talk and drop some value, you know, while we're here, and that's what I'm looking to do. So I'd say if you have any questions and the replay. So somebody's asking for the replay with Kevin Zhang. And yes, there is a replay, a video replay. Let me see if I could pull that up on the screen here. If you go to youtube.com/techmoneytalks, you could find the video replay. And I'm going to click on videos. And let me drag it over on the screen. So you may not be able to see. I'm going to toggle the screen here so you can see on YouTube here. Now you can see we're doing the live streaming, but right down here, the bottom, this one right here, Kevin Zhang, that's the live video recording we did. And you can see here about a month ago. So a month ago that it was recorded. And so the thing is, you know, starting to do more on YouTube. This is one thing that I haven't done in the past. And even beforehand, people were saying, well, put the podcasts on YouTube. And you can see his history. This was all like pre-recorded podcasts. Trying to get familiar with YouTube as I was figuring it out because I wasn't natively a YouTuber, right? But starting to figure it out. So you can see it's getting a little bit better and a little bit more informative. And hopefully it's helpful to you guys. So youtube.com/techmoneytalks is where you can check it out. But like I said, Kevin's was the first that we did. The audio quality wasn't that great, but the value in there is awesome. So definitely check that out. I'll even go through the list here. Man, this is like Noah Tucker's is one of the most popular podcasts. It's in the top 5, if you didn't know. So Noah Tucker, And actually, we need to update the description here for it, but it's a popular podcast. Actually, it looks like that one's private. So we need to release that on YouTube. So I'll make a note. I also got, I'm taking on some more people to work with me here. And do you Minecraft? I don't Minecraft. That's a question here. And he said the audio is good. Cool. Well, I'd say drop your questions while I'm just kind of going through YouTube. So I'd say drop any questions. And then also, we do have a Zoom connected. So let me go back here and let me grab the Zoom link because you guys are able to join. If you see on the screen, you can actually see the link to join Zoom. And I'm going to copy the link as well. If you want to join Zoom and actually for a live question, you can do that. And I'm typing and pasting at the same time. So there's also a Zoom link that you can connect to. It's bit.ly/askbmaczoom, and you can connect in there as well. So there's one question that came in from Track Valley. So what's the best procedure for getting a bulk order into a 3PL in the United States or in those lowercase US? I'm assuming United States. So yeah, I mean that's a process. I'd say the main thing is having consistency in your orders, right? So one of the things is having being able to demonstrate the track record of consistency. If you listen to the podcast that was just released, that was one of the things that uh, Kevin announced on the podcast, which is that he said yes, the United States. So he's actually providing that now, and not only to people that enroll in his course, but even to other people that are just kind of plugged in within the community to work with his company as well. So if you heard his story, he also set up the logistics and things like that, and is able to work. The key factor is just having some type of volume consistency. I'm going off of memory, but I think I think his qualifier was like 20. If you had like at least a consistent 20 orders per day, then you could do that. And after that, um, yeah. So are you asking about Kevin? I'm reading more questions here. Um, but there's other providers. So even if you guys have heard of John X Paul, he has the same service. I want to say that his qualifier was like a consistent 40 sales per day, I want to say. So that's part of the process. So it's like once you figure that out, then I would say definitely begin to reach out. And if you need to, I can help you connect with them as well. Um, and yeah, so Track Valley said he's actually opened up to people with only a few orders. Yeah, and that may even be the case. I remember he even mentioned on the podcast that he was like, he was burned by it, right? So for whoever's taken on, they're taking on the inventory at that point, basically, and they're doing that on your behalf if you're still technically drop shipping. I would say it's kind of like treated like a stepping stones. You almost want to get to the point where you should actually be grabbing the inventory if you're planning a long-term solution with the product line, right? So with drop shipping, that you can prove out products um, that will sell, and once you get some consistent volume, then yeah, you could work with the 3PL. And then if you're getting like some serious volume, you could either continue that relationship or even decide, is it worth making your own investment into there, because you could do a bunch of other things like with ShipBob's ShipStation or other forms like that, where you can begin to work with handle your own logistics, which is pretty cool. So let's see, 123 Electric Boy, get Phase on the podcast. Let's look him up. Let's see, who is this person? So yeah, even if you guys have some podcast recommendations, uh, I would say give them a shout out and tag them and tag me. Maybe that's the best way to do that. I'd say if you can tag that person and tag me at the same time, or you could drop a DM here. So somebody's recommending this person, and I'm taking a look. So people ask, what's the qualifier for getting people on the podcast? Um, I I really just kind of it's a combination of like a gut feel. So even just take an initial look at them, um, I can see. I also look based on the followers because I don't just follow everybody, but you can look at the number of people following him based on who I follow. Uh, it's a really good indicator. So this person as George Klein, Noah Tucker, I was just mentioning, Justin Wall, Scott Hilsey, um, all these people that are following him, which is a good indicator that he's pretty serious in the industry. So you can see, just off of this list here, that it's a serious dude. So good recommendation for sure, Electric Boy, and he's dropping a few more here too. So we'll definitely reach out to him. I say if you can, uh, a 123 Electric Boy. Thanks for sharing this. I'd say tag us somehow. Maybe even take a story right now of me. If you could see the screen, well, there's me sharing the screen, but tag us doing it, and then I'll send them. I'll send them an invite because it looks like a character that's doing this. But it's kind of a gut feel process. There's no right and wrong, but I use a combination of things. So I mean, even the stuff related to uh, like baller busters, I make sure to even check with them. I don't know if you guys seen or heard of baller busters, but they're the same thing where at least they help vet out some of the people that were kind of like fake or posing or taking advantage of people. Let me see if I could pull them up real quick because I think it'll be helpful to a lot of people. I'm typing it on the keyboard. Okay, so so this is a good tip here if you don't know baller busters. I'm going to share the screen as well. This is a good tip here, which is they point out a number of people that basically, some of the fakes that have done there, and don't just take each post as if it's a fake. Sometimes they're doing humorous things. So Gary V has been keeping it real, and it was funny. They actually did like a Gary V April Fool's Day because they thought that they were gonna bust Gary V on something, and it was actually really funny. But just to point out, I mean, I'd say this is one indicator that helps. Just helps to vet out people because that's the whole point. People don't know what to believe on the internet, right? People don't know what to believe on the internet, and they see a lot of Lambo gurus out there, and it gets really tough. So um, I would say that that's something that you want to be mindful of. That's kind of the point of why I do the podcast, which is to help people in this space here. So really important for sure. Um, Now, let's see if we got any other questions here. People are asking. Uh, so the for some reason, people ask about is drop shipping dead? I would say no. Drop shipping is not dead. Ask any questions. The reason, I mean, now, I mean, you've heard some of the people that have already recently been on. They describe it as being as popular as Q4. So the amount of sales that are going through, and that there's more people that are buying online right now than ever before. and it's for for the reasons that we're dealing with during these times. So it's shifting the buying habits, and I'd say for entrepreneurs that are in position to be able to sell online, you're really in a good position. So if you guys have been taking the effort, doing the work to set yourself up, then it's it's really important. It's not dead. If anything, it's just going to continue to evolve, and evolution is key. Like, I mean, drop shipping's been around. I don't know if you remember me sharing my story. Um, this is an example right here of what I've done related to dropship funnels. So the concept of dropship funnels is what I do here is I take ClickFunnels and wrap that around Shopify dropshipping. So if you're not familiar with ClickFunnels, it's basically uh, a digital marketing platform for online business. Here's me and Russell Brunson and Todd. They're the founders of ClickFunnels, but taking the power of the digital marketer and marketing and wrapping that around Shopify dropshipping, and it's just been powerful. And that's been a mashup because one of the things that I proved out is that technically it was not the recent this year, but it was the previous year's Funnel Hacking Live where they enabled the technical capabilities to integrate. So it wasn't until that previous the year before Funnel Hacking Live where they enabled that and announced it. Not many people took advantage of it, but then it was like middle of last year is when I decided to do this. It's like, well, let's do this where we can wrap it because Shopify has a really strong platform for e-commerce. The catalog and fulfillment and all that stuff, but ClickFunnels really takes advantage of how to make an irresistible offer. Because at the end of the day, you're not in the business of just selling products. If you're only in the business of selling products, then what it means is you can only compete on price. And that's why you hear people that are always, saying those words, oh, well, this product's saturated. It's saturated now. When you really take a step back and think about it, what does that mean? It's saturated. It really means that there are so many sellers that are dropping the price to where it's not profitable anymore. And it becomes a race to the bottom. So people throw out these words, oh, it's not saturated. And then they feel like, oh, drop shipping doesn't work for me. It's dead. Well, that's kind of the lazy man's approach because, I mean, make the effort and realize that you're not in the business of just selling products. You're in the business of selling the offer. If you know how to make an irresistible offer, then you win. Because in a saturated market, what it means is that customers are still there buying. There's shoppers that want to buy. It's telling you there's a market. You just need to be a better marketer. Does that make sense? So if you learn how to be a better marketer, then that's how you're going to win and not just competing on price. So you could still sell at a profitable price, but then give the perceived value that the customer is getting this much value and paying the regular price that should be the price that it'd be selling at, as a compared to just trying to lowball to the point where the profits, if any, is very minimum. So it's just a different mindset, and it's how you look at it. And I would say, I mean, you don't have to be like an expert genius marketer, but if you learn a few of what I call like, the marketing hacks, kind of like these Jedi mind tricks that work on the psychology of buying habits, that's what's so powerful, folks. I'm telling you, like, I mean, and that's where, what I proved out, wrapping that around Shopify drop shipping. Like, I don't know if it shows a funnel here. Like, here's a quick, like, little picture of it, but it takes the average order and increases that average order value just in one transaction. So, yeah, a lot of people are out there just hoping they get one customer to buy one product. In our case, we're collecting email opt-ins. We're getting that customer to not just buy one, but then telling them that, hey, well, there's a limit and there's a cap on what you can buy. The maximum you can buy is 5. And all of a sudden, you just told the customer something that they can't do. And what do they want to do? People want to do something that they told them that they can't do, right? So they all of a sudden buy 3 or they buy 5. They buy the maximum amount. And that increases that average order value. Then we have the concept of the order bump and then the post-purchase upsells. But yeah, I'm not going to go into the whole spiel about dropship funnels and stuff like that because I have many other videos on this. But the whole point that I was trying to get at is that this is an evolution. So we were talking about, is drop shipping dead? No, drop shipping's been around since the dot-com boom. I mean, my first, if you guys caught any like the older podcasts, my first venture in drop shipping was actually selling cigars. And this was before there was like legal regulation about sale of tobacco products over the internet. So this is the beginning of e-commerce, folks. And I mean, the way to look at it back then, it was like the Wild West. It was basically like when cryptocurrency, first took off and governments were trying to catch up and regulate it. E-commerce was like that back then during the dot-com boom. So yeah, I mean, I was drop shipping cigars because at the time there weren't state by state, government regulations on tobacco products for sales over the internet. That was my first venture into it. Fast forward to today, I'd say that would be classified as like high ticket sales because people weren't just buying one single cigar. They're buying a case, and we were getting some major orders in there, and it was a really cool thing. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, back then, you didn't have the luxury of Shopify or all these platforms where you could just at a click of a button be able to do this. You needed to be technical or know somebody that was technical to code it. Me being technical, I was able to do it myself, and that's what I did, and that's why I could launch it at that time. But I tell you, it was way more automated than what they have out here right now. I didn't have the ka-ching sound. I didn't enable that, but I did get emails that were showing me copies of purchase orders that were being generated and sending directly to the distributor that was supposed to ship the products. So it was a really awesome thing at the time. But I had so many other things going off, and it was really awesome. But yeah, I'd say if you guys have any questions, be sure to drop some questions in here. Let me know who else that you'd like to see on the podcast. 123 Electric Boy, you dropped a few here. I'm going to... I don't know if this Instagram chat's going to stick around for a while, so let me take a screenshot of this if I can. It's not letting me take a screenshot. Let me take my other phone here and take a picture of this. Okay, cool. See, technology here, multitasking for sure. Well, awesome. I think we're coming close to the end of the half hour. Hopefully this stuff was helpful, but let me know if there's any topics or themes. But, the initial part of this is to actually, answer any live questions, things like that. I love the shout outs about future guests. So I will pursue whoever you guys, recommend as future guests on the podcast. So we'll get that going so you can hear from them and even catch them live. So all the future podcasts, I'm looking to do the live podcast recordings. Like the one we did with Nas. Nas was awesome. I mean, this was yesterday, folks. And, during this thing, she showed how she did over 200,000. And that was like a week prior when she released that video. Now she said that same store is up to 600,000. So Nas is crushing it. I'd say watch the video. It's going to be a podcast that's coming out. But, man, that's powerful for sure. We had a really great live podcast there. So we're going to do more lives like these. Hopefully you guys like that. So on YouTube and even like Facebook and the other networks, you can catch these things live. Share it with somebody when you can. Be sure to like it and subscribe. But it'll also be edited and available in the podcast release. So today, the podcast that came out was the one with Kevin Zhang. He also talks about the course, and we'll even end off here, which is the special offer that I gave in addition to it, because he gave me like an affiliate referral link, which I thought was really nice of him. And what I'm doing in return to give more added value, I announce it in the podcast, which is basically to get a free coaching call and the drop shipping insiders group for free for using a referral link to enroll into Kevin's course. So Kevin's a real deal. He covers a lot in here, stuff very professional, a lot of information, and I'd say it's definitely worth checking out. So if you go to kevinzang.techmoneytalks.com, it's kevinzang.techmoneytalks.com. You can check it out there. It's definitely valuable. And as my gift to you, if you're looking to sign up, and I think this is for the first 30 people that sign up, they're going to get free access to the insiders group. And the insiders group is what I was showing here, all this stuff that we do on a weekly basis. We're going to be going through. There's a lot of great stuff that goes into here, which is awesome. So we're going to end the live session here. Hopefully this was helpful, but we're going to continue this weekday. Be sure to plug in, come in with your questions, and stay productive out there. Stay safe, and I wish you guys all well. So I'm going to end the live stream now. Instagram. All right, and then I'm going to stop the live stream here on YouTube and Facebook. See you later, guys.